Football is finally back. Friday Night Lights flexing its might back for another season. Tonight, we preview the season to come. I'm Nico Tamurian alongside legendary local coach Paul Seeley. By the way, his 8th season with us tonight. Coach, thanks for being with us once again.
Hey, thanks for having me again. I always enjoy this time. 8 years has seemed to fly.
It really has. We've got the market cornered on this. Seeley sees it, Seeley says it. We're going to trademark that. Absolutely, but this has got to be such a fun time of year. Coaches and players alike, it's football season.
It's great. Teams have spent 2 weeks now, whacking each other. So I'm sure everybody's itching to get tomorrow's scrimmages, next week's games, hit something different.
Exactly, hit somebody in a different uniform, right? Well, we have to naturally start with the champion of the big school division, Class AA, CBA. They won it all in Section 3. They went to the state Final Four, and oh, by the way, most of those weapons are back.
Absolutely. They've got Dennis at quarterback. He's experienced. Stevie Scott is one fast kid. Fast people make you miss. And they've got smart kids. They make very few mental errors.
We'll hear more from Stevie a little bit later on in the show. And you'd be remiss, obviously CBA won the championship, but all season long we were talking about these guys, the CNS North Stars. And, they've got a quarterback that's been a 3-year starter, and he's just a junior. They've got a great coaching staff. You can say that for a lot of schools in Section 3, but the North Stars are poised to make an impact again.
Well, they're big. They're very big up front there. They have a defensive back going to Boston College, so they've got a couple of D1s. They're itching to get back. They are really upset at what happened last year. Field should have won, so it's going to be a great season for the North Stars.
They've made great strides the last 2 years. The next step would be to win that championship. But we know there's so many great schools in Class AA, and that's what makes Central New York football so special. Some other schools in Class AA, really, Coach, that might have caught your eye. We've got one in studio a little bit later today.
Sure.
We've got one out in Manly's. What do you make of some of the other teams?
The next team I'm looking at is Beeville.
Beeville, okay.
Team. So that Beeville CNS game is going to be like a Division III college football game. They're going to be big bodies.
And, Coach Sanfilippo, you can find him at St. Angelo's after, right?
There you go.
Yeah, that's the thing I love about Class AA. There are so many teams all over the map, and it's any given game, anybody can beat anybody, right?
Absolutely.
So let's move on now to Class A. And this is a little bit different this year, Coach, because there's not 2 divisions. Gone are the American and the National. This is one league, one champion.
Right, and that's it's interesting now because they're only going to semifinals.
Okay.
So there's top 6 teams, only 4 go. So there's going to be 2 pretty good football teams that are going to be left out of the playoffs.
Absolutely. And, if you're in the American, you kind of dreaded or maybe waited to play a team like Whitesboro. If you were in the National, you were waiting to play a team like ESM or JD. Now they're all playing each other in the regular season. What does that mean for the competition?
Well, the competition steps up. There's not going to be an easy week. ESM's got a great club. They're experienced. They've got great defensive players, great line. There's Carthage, there's Whitesboro, Indian River. Watertown has a very good, outstanding program. So it's going to be interesting to see on the Class A side.
Definitely. And in Class B, Carrier Dome, Casanova are pretty much synonymous, right? But there's other great teams we can't forget, like Homer and things like that.
No, Homer's got a great program. Both of them are storied, traditional, always in the mix. West Hill looks pretty good this year. Marcellus, you can't forget Utica, Notre Dame. And I think that Central Valley team may surprise some people.
Is Cass the favorite, you think, right now?
Well, right now.
Sure.
It's way too early to be favorite, but if you got to pick one, I would say them.
Absolutely. And we keep moving on. That's the one thing I love. There's so many different classes. And Bishop Ludden has the dynamic duo Lee and Connor. They're back. They're playmakers. But Class C, there's so many darn schools. Really, it's anybody's ball game, right?
Absolutely. Those two at Bishop Ludden may be the best quarterback-receiver tandem in all of football in Section 3. They are outstanding. And
that carries a lot of weight coming from the great Coach Seeley. And let's come back here because, Coach Seeley, you're back in the saddle. We got the graphic.
I am.
You are the new head coach at Phoenix High School. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's been a great ride for the last few months. The community's been wonderful. The kids have really worked hard. The grounds crew's outstanding. It's just been a great experience.
I know you've been coaching all the while, but how does it feel to be the head again?
Well, it's just a different look. You get up a lot earlier. You work a lot later. You're more nervous. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Seeley, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And by the way, you will see Coach Seeley every Friday night on Friday Night Lights breaking down the top players and the top action of the night. You don't want to miss that, but we're just getting warmed up here on Friday Night Lights. Season preview, several future Division I stars set to give it a go in Section 3 this season. Matt Hosworth checks in with them when Friday Night Lights continues right here on NBC3. Welcome back to Friday Night Lights season preview right here on NBC3. So many think that Central New York might not have the top talent around New York State. Think again. There's a trio of local stars and possibly more, honestly, making Power 5 noise at the collegiate level next year. Matt Hosworth spent the week catching up with them.
Before getting here, you have to prove yourself here. And for a trio of Section 3 standouts, they've already accomplished just that. And now Division I programs have started to take notice.
It's an honor. I mean, I've had this dream ever since a little kid to go play Division I football. I mean, and now it's, dreams coming to reality. So, I mean, it's just means the world to me.
Baldwinsville's football program has long been considered among the best in Central New York. No wonder why Dino Babers and the Orange snatched up its most physically imposing player, 6'6", 250-pound tight end, Gabe Horan.
It feels great. I mean, it's mainly a big thing for my family. They're right there. I mean, 20 minutes away to the Dome. I mean, really was a big part of committing was so they can come watch me each week.
Now, just down Route 31 at Cicero North Syracuse High School is an absolute speedster. He ran a 4.5 40-yard dash, a player that Boston College only needed to see twice. That's when a scholarship offer was headed his way. Defensive back Tyler Days.
Before I got offered, that's all I really wanted. I just wanted an offer. I was just waiting on a chance to show a team what I got, and then now that I'm committed, it's just like, dang, I got what I wanted. Now I can focus on finishing my senior season strong.
And on the east side of town, there is a monstrous running back suiting up for Christian Brothers Academy. He's a player with multiple D1 offers, but ultimately decided on Rutgers. Well, that would be the 6'1", 240-pound Stevie Scott.
Well, recruiting was starting to die down because the season was coming around, and Rutgers kept in most contact with me, so I felt like we built a good relationship that helped me make my decision.
It's move-in weekend here at Syracuse University. Baldwinsville's Gabe Horan will get to experience that this time next year. However, not every high school football player in Central New York chooses to play at SU. Take Tyler Days and Stevie Scott, for instance, both who have chosen to play their college football out of state. And that's quite okay. We've seen this before, whether it's Tyvon Branch going to UConn or Latavius Murray, of course, choosing Central Florida, and obviously the big one, Mike Hart, heading off to the University of Michigan. At the end of the day, Central New York is so proud of these guys. It's homegrown talent choosing to take their talents to the highest level of college football.
People fail to realize that there's a lot of talent come out of, Central New York, or New York for that matter. So, I mean, it's a huge honor for, the select few that get to go play Division I football.
Yeah, I definitely feel that New York State is underrated. We have a lot of athletes here. We just don't really get that much looks.
I definitely feel like upstate New York is overlooked because there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent on just one team, let alone all the teams around New York. So I definitely feel like we're overlooked, but that's what we do. We show people.
Beeville's Gabe Horan, Syracuse. CBA's Stevie Scott, Rutgers. And CNS's Tyler Days, Boston College. Section 3's top 3 in 2017.
So any given night, you can go around and watch those guys, right? As Matt Hosworth joins us now.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, just 3 great young guys. I'm talking to all of them. It really can't be so happy for them. Can't be more happy for them. And when you think about it, Rutgers, Boston College, and Syracuse, 3 Northeast teams. All these guys, a couple of them going to be playing in cold weather still. Gabe going to be indoors inside the Carrier Dome, the nice warm confines. It'll be great catching up with Gabe over the next several years. But of course, with Stevie and Tyler, these guys, they're going to be playing Division I college football, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to them down the line.
All right, Matt Hosworth, thank you so much. And speaking of Division I football stars, Nottingham is replacing 3 of them. How will they do it? Well, the Bulldogs are live in studio next to tell us how. You're watching Friday Night Lights on NBC3. Welcome back to Friday Night Lights right here on NBC3. Joining us live now in the studio, the 2017 Nottingham Bulldogs, or at least a couple players, and Coach Wheeler. Guys, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having us.
And we'll start with you, Malcolm. Listen, it's another season. It's a chance to put your stamp on the brand of Bulldog football. How excited are you to get this new season going?
I'm real excited to get a season going. What happened last year was like a chip on my shoulder and some of the guys' shoulders from last year who played in the game, who wanted to change the culture for Nottingham.
That's just it. And Coach, we heard Malcolm talk about what happened last year. We know CBA went to the state Final Four. He only lost by 1 point in the playoffs and had a shot at the end. Does that motivate this year's squad to say, hey, you know, we were right there, we can make it another step further?
Yeah, I think last year it showed a lot of our kids, and we moved up to 6-2 JV team, and they were with us that day too. And we took 45 kids across the hill and gave them a run for their money, and they are a great team. But it left those younger kids like, you know what, we can do this. And the seniors kind of paved the way, and we have over 45 kids out this year, almost 42 kids out this year, and that's a testament to that, of how we've grown our program.
Absolutely. And Quentin, hey, you start the season in the Carrier Dome. I mean, how cool is that? You've obviously grown up in the shadow of it. I'm sure you've gone to a couple games there. What does it mean to start this season at the Carrier Dome and maybe even end it there? Who knows, right?
Well, it's always, you know, a great opportunity to play in a college stadium anywhere. And us going there will basically just make us more excited for the season and make people push themselves more so we can go back there.
Absolutely. And Coach Wheeler, you know, these guys, what have you been saying to them to get them ready as the season starts in one more week?
Just put it in the hard work. You know, we had, you know, a lot of kids coming up 3 or 4 days a week. Our weight room program was great this year. And the attitude of this year has been great. The kids have been working really hard, and, you know, with all the kids, you know, 3 deep at each position, we're really excited. We're ready to make some noise. We'll see what we can do tomorrow against Rome. We are young. We have we graduated a lot of kids, but I'm excited to see how we do. I think we're headed in the right direction for sure.
Definitely. Coach Fred Wheeler, Malcolm, and Quentin from the Nottingham Bulldogs, best of luck from all of us here at NBC3. Like we were saying, the season opener in the Carrier Dome next Saturday against the West Genesee Wildcat. But that'll do it for our Friday Night Lights season preview. Make sure you join us next Friday night for the regular season debut with highlights from about a dozen games around Section 3. I'm Nico Tamurian for Matt Hosworth and Coach Seeley. Good night.